Sometimes I wonder, is there a reasonable hour to wake up? I don't think there's any way to prove I'm nocturnal, but until then we'll just have to get up and get moving. Today we're headed for Holbrook, Arizona. A semi-leisurely 270 miles down I-40. And we're at Laughlin. Hey babies. Without any camping gear this time around, the pack is pretty easy. Laughlin gets a 3 out of 5. Definitely come back if it's on the way. We were right on the border, so within minutes we crossed into Arizona. All of which would look pretty much like this. At least the weather was cool. Route 66 is peppered with thematic retail and dining, so after about 30 miles, it was time to throw the proverbial dart at the map and pick a place to eat. We landed in Kingman, a relic from the gold rush and surviving on the aforementioned theme. Rutherfords would do just fine. The Americano was strong here, and I'm sure it wouldn't disappoint. Back on the road, Interstate 40 would provide more of the same. At least it was dependable. Every 50 to 100 miles, we'd find a new spot, claiming to be the birthplace of Route 66, or have the best blueberry pancakes or some such. This far west, the American desert doesn't change much. I took a photo to remember the spirit, moved on. By the time we'd reached Flagstaff, I looked down and realized I'd made a huge mistake. I'd left the house with my tennis shoes on. If I didn't correct this now, it was definitely going to cause me some problems later, so I stopped by the trusty neighborhood boot barn, picked up some snazzy new kicks. Feeling fashionable, we fled Flagstaff as quickly as we could, only to be distracted just down the road by this cool sign. What's the rush, right? Just outside of Flagstaff. Another 80 miles to Holbrook. It was cold through Flagstaff, and only getting colder as the early winter sun was going down. It's here we'd see our first snow of the trip, about 7,000 feet above sea level. The freight lines reassured us that we were, in fact, heading towards civilization, so we followed them all the way to our destination. As soon as we landed, I knew we'd been to this little town before, although at the time I couldn't quite put my finger on it. The phantoms of deja vu become more and more common the more road we cover. There's a good chance it could have all been an illusion. But while I contemplated the simulation, the hunger I was experiencing was very real. And then it all came back to me. I had broken down at this diner many years earlier, and had to jump a dead battery in the rain. I was sure that Tom and Susie's diner would deliver me a different fate this time. Carbs. Because who wants to live forever? 5:30 or 6
What are you talking about, dude? It's beer o'clock.
in Holbrook, Arizona. We were gonna relax, but it's 6 o'clock. It's a lot of time to kill. So we're going to Pockets?
Prison Pocket?
Prison Pocket Saloon. What could possibly go wrong? One more day in the wild nothing of America was coming to a close. The usual rituals would suffice tonight as we prepared for a cold morning into the New Mexican high desert. I'm gonna put on 2 pairs of underwear. That should help. The cold morning had come, as promised, and we thought about putting it off as long as possible by getting breakfast first before getting on the road. For whatever it was worth. Somehow, it's getting colder. The frost had taken over every surface that was out in the open, and it was this moment I had to remind myself that I had asked for this. Truth is, I'll take this any day over the heat. Just a few moments after talking myself into it, I realized we had somewhere to be. The Petrified Forest National Park in Arizona. There wasn't much of a line to get in mid-January. One of the perks of traveling in the winter, I suppose. You're probably looking out at this and wondering why they call it a forest. Well, it helps to think of a forest more as a graveyard. And it helps to think of trees more as rocks that cover the landscape. You may have to do a little bit of searching, but they are out there. And with this beautiful national park right off Interstate 40, there's really no excuse not to see it. Well, we're about 20 miles into the Petrified Forest in Arizona. I'm taking a little walk up the trail here, trying to find a good place for a photo with Otis. With our sightseeing done, there was only one thing to do. Hit the road and make it to Albuquerque. I can't remember now if I thought it would warm up today, but I'll tell you, the high desert knows how to maintain. We're at the border, Arizona and New Mexico. Somehow it feels colder when we stop. Almost there. Although it may not appear so, the conditions were not ideal. I put my head down and slogged out the last 155 miles of I-40, all the way into Eastside Albuquerque. We'd finally made it, and of course, Brendan was there with a warm welcome.
All right, we're fine.
You're fucking hilarious.
Cheers.
That's what beer tastes like.
Oh, looks good. You look like a stormtrooper with this helmet. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, it's like very.
Wait, don't those guys never get laid and can't hit shit?
So it's you.
Our journey had reached its perihelion. And even in our farthest orbit, we find good friends and familiar places. Tonight we can rest, and tomorrow the winter desert would wait for us. Let's see. What time is it? 9:54. January
6th.
16th.